Hello, hello. I wanted to answer a question from one of the viewers. Carl Moore asked, is there ever a time you should give up on trying to manifest a specific person? Or like the saying goes, never give up on love. Look, I think that's a really good question, Carl, because when things go on and on for years, it does get incredibly challenging. But I want to say, and this is from my own experience, it's not from a law of attraction book or from another teacher's opinion, this is personal experience. Now, when I was wanting a specific person and I was, learning about letting go of being needy and longing and really developing all the stuff that I talk to all of you about on these YouTubes, that self-love is the most important foundation, because then you stop looking to someone or a specific person to love you and make you feel better. So as I learned to create this self-love within me and become a much more peaceful person and become someone who was much more able to give love out, to understand that no one has to love me, and that really it's my job, and that if I really want to have someone in my life, whether it was a specific person or someone totally new, that to show up as a person who actually knows how to give love and to radiate that out, rather than someone that's looking for someone to love them, and then, it might work for a little while, but then eventually the person tires of you. What that made of me along the way is something that I could only have learnt having had a specific person in mind. So I had to become good at self-love. I had to become good at affirmations. I had to become good at daily meditations and specific meditations to do with self-love, because I was so lacking in it that having a specific person out in front of me made me create all those qualities within me, because I didn't have them in the beginning. So I think the question, coming back to Carl's question, I'm glad that I personally didn't give up, even though it took, 3 years or so. I'm glad I didn't give up, because I became someone who had a new set of skills and a understanding of that imagination creates reality, and that dissolving those beliefs within myself took time, because going from non-believing, like I'm unloved, to believing I'm loved, you don't do that within 24 hours. Maybe some people can. I personally wasn't able to do it. It took me time. So, and also learning that, treating someone as if they love you. So whether there was someone in your life or not, in my case there was, but they were out there, over there, I had to learn to, in my mind, in my imagination, to treat them as if they loved me. Whether we have contact or not with people, that still applies, okay? So I think it's a very personal decision, that if you really, are so exhausted by it and it's taking too long, everybody's got a different threshold as to when that time is. And yeah, so it's really up to you when you actually pull the plug on something. It's you've got your own, benchmark as to when that's going to be. So yeah, I think, remember, there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. If you've got a specific person in mind, well, then that desire's been given to you, or God is your own human imagination, remember, and your desires come from that. So if you've got desires for specific things, then it is okay to go for those things and to work out ways to dissolve, reflect on what's going on within you, to then be able to overcome the I can't have that, or I'm never going to get that, because those are often the beliefs that stop you from having a specific person, the beliefs about yourself. So, yeah, I hope that helps. I know it's not clear cut and dried, you know, you get to 6 months and you stop, or keep going, keep going, keep going until you turn 60. You know, it's not that kind of an answer. So, yeah, I mean, I can only speak from my personal experience, and I can tell you those years were quite long, and there was a lot of pain involved in the meantime, because you're letting go of old beliefs, you're letting go of, am I ever going to get this? You're letting go of, is this even possible? Most people believe that you can't do it, you know, on and on and on, as you know, because you've got friends and family around you that probably say that stuff to you, and then you've got your own doubts on top of that. And then those doubts then get reflected back to you from those people that are around you. So, yeah, I think it is a very controversial question, and one that people will give you different answers for. But I do think always go within, always ask yourself, okay, can I keep going with this? Or is it really time for me to stop? Ask your own inner guidance, ask your own intuition, and, you know, just keep loving and being open-handed. Sometimes it wears you out, and it's good to let go of it temporarily until you've really mastered your self-love again and you become much more at peace. And also, whether this person comes or not, I can feel loved, because I think once you hit that point and you can hold it quite consistently, that's usually when the specific person shows up again, because there is no more unloved, I'm not wanted, I'm not secure, projecting out at them, and they can then approach you because you don't have the you've got to do a job of loving me for me to be okay, and that energy is then felt, the change, okay, the change. So the person feels that you are no longer doing that, and then often they contact you because there is an absence of all that there. So there you go, Carl. That's my thoughts on that. Thank you for asking that question, because I think it is a very, very good question in relation to manifesting a specific person. Lots of love to you. May you create a beautiful presence within you around self-love, so that you are just a magnet for that which you seek, which is to have a wonderful connection with another. But when you will have that, you will be in a much better emotional position to do and have that kind of relationship, because you have rubbed out the stuff that's held it back up until this point. Lots of love.